Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. So, it is told in that we have found earlier how the ideal spiritual aspirant in Nachiketa liquidated the first of his boons in ensuring the peace and joy of his father, and how he dedicated the second boon to bless the community of men. Now only he is cashing in the last of his boons for his own Kalyana liberation, and presents one of his great doubts of clarification. The spirit of sacrifice and capacity to find within oneself enough sympathy to serve not only one's own near and dear, but also the whole universe, and thus put their kalyan, good, first. Even before one's own redemption is one of the most important qualification unavoidable in a true seeker. If he is to be a total success in his pilgrimage to truth. This is certainly against the belief that has now come to be rampant among the devotee class. So, in this misunderstanding is an entire hornet's nest of sorrow suffered by the devotees. So, religious pursuit will not and cannot be a bar to perfect social and communal living. A spiritual aspirant is not to be dumb and deaf. He must be one fully aware of needs and sorrows of the world of men around him, and must seek and find within himself a kindness and love enough to make his heart weeping for the sorrows of others. If he has not the capacity to identify himself with his own relations and his own generation, he is not fit to enter the holy of the holies in the temple of truth. So, with this mantra, the Upanishad actually starts. So far, the effort was building up a dramatic situation wherein a matured soul is brought into the presence of a full-fledged teacher. The doubt now raised by the young Brahmin boy shows his own scriptural knowledge and self-evolution. Rarely has the animal man ever running after sensuous pleasure, the mental poise, and the intellectual stamina to ponder over life as a whole and come to entertain such a deep and pointed doubt. Mantra number 21. देवैरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं पुरा न हि सुविज्ञेयमनुरेष धर्मः अन्यं वरं नचिकेतो वृणेष्व मामोपरोत्सीरतिमाश्रिजैनम्. Having heard the prayer of Nachiketa, now Yamaraj is testing his students' nishtha. He is telling, Pura atra devaihi api vichikitsitam hi eshaha anuhu dharmaha na suvigneyam. He nachiketah anyam varam vrinishva ma 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 uparotsihi ma enam atisrija. Three ma is there, and three ma's meaning is different. So puraha in earlier days, atra means about this Atma Tattva, devaihi api vichikitsitam. It was doubtful to the gods and goddesses. He, because eshaha, this Atma Tattva, anuhu, very subtle, dharmaha means Atma Tattva, na suvigneyam. It is not easy to understand. Nachiketaha, he Nachiketa, anyam varam vanishva. It's better you ask me some different boon. Ma, to me, ma uparotsihi. Don't request. Ma, to me, enam atisrija. Please cancel this prayer. Devaihi atra api vichikitsitam pura. Even the gods and goddesses were doubtful. They did not know and they misunderstood the things. We think that the gods and goddesses are more intelligent and intellectual than common man like us. Means they are higher jiva than Manushya. They were also doubtful. It's true that this tattva was very, very subtle and very difficult to know. Anuhu esha dharmaha. Why? Because we have told earlier also, our direct perception will not work over here. With any sense organs or with our mind, intellect, we start analyzing also. We can't reach at any decision. Means it's not very easy to understand. Nahi suvikneyam. So Nachiketa, don't be too much curious about this very subtle tattva, anyam varam vrinishya. It's better you ask me different boon. That will be worthy for you. What is the significance of this statement of Yamraja? That the matter we are going to discuss is very, very subtle. So when devatas are doubtful, then you, a manushya, and very tender age, you can't understand that. So you got three boons. It's my humble request that don't waste that last boon. If you start nagging me in that way, maybe I have to tell everything else. But it will not be worthy for you because you can't understand. When gods and goddesses, they can't. You are a manushya and balako. And again Yamaraj is telling, माँ ऊपर अच्छी ही मुझे तुम ऐसे करके अनुरोध उपरोध मत करो अति मां सृजईनम you just leave that idea of this boon. You ask different boon. Why he is telling so? Because Yamaraj as a teacher is testing Nachiketa whether he is eligible or not. Whether he is a Prakrita Adhikari or not. Without analyzing the Adhikaritva, if this sort of Sukshma Tattva he imparts, a teacher imparts to the uneligible, unprepared student, the whole knowledge will go in vain. Even it may create some different thing. But Nachiketa is not ready. What our Gurudev says, we will see. Here onwards, we will find a series of mantras in which Yamraj is testing his disciple. There are hundreds of people who, though immature, might stumble themselves upon a doubt or two on themes transcendental. All such people are not generally sufficiently ripe in intellect or pure in mind to grasp the subtle truth as discussed in the Shastras. To give out the absolute standpoint and to discuss with them directly the divine nature of the immortal soul is wasteful effort which shall not produce any effect upon the hearers. Great masters, therefore, always test their disciples, and only when the disciples are found to be fit for the great initiation do they deliver the goods as such. This does not mean that the principles of Vedanta are to be kept as closed secrets and are to be given out only to a selected few. Vedanta knowledge is the birthright of man. It belongs to all at all times. So, this kind of wise discrimination is actually being practiced in our everyday life by almost all of us. For example, if an infant child were to inquire of his father, "Dad, how does it rain?" The dad, if he be intelligent, would tell the child of the white elephant that stands always behind the dark clouds and sprinkles the water contents of its trunk on the people. While the same father would answer the same question to the same boy after some 10 years, same boy, explaining to him the vapor contents of the clouds and the principles of condensation when the clouds reach the cooler forest areas. So these two different explanations of same phenomenon are given out to the same child at different stages of its growth, since the later explanation will not and cannot appeal at the earlier stage. It is only in this sense that the teacher tests the student's maturity and then gives out his discourses according to the standard category to which the particular disciple belongs. Mrityu Devata, Yamraj, is here trying to examine Nachiketa. Nachiketa is a seeker. He, in an assumed air of sincerity, says to the boy that he dare not waste the blessing of one of his boons in explaining a futile inquiry of the boy. What happens to the soul after death? The topic is so subtle and difficult to understand that even gods of old have to this day their own doubts, adds the Lord. Devas means From Dev Dhatu, it comes. It means effulgent, meaning those divine ones who live in the heavens and have in their makeup and ampler potency of intellect and mind. The gods have a greater capacity to feel and to reason out, and also they have a longer period of existence to inquire, analyze, and understand such then themes. Even they says, Lord Death have not yet come to a final understanding of the nature of the soul. Naturally, it is self evident that the topic is futile for a mere mortal child to hope even to understand the great theme. Indeed, Mrityu Devata has very efficiently argued in this mantra against Nachiketa's insistence for an answer to his question. We must always remember that Mrityu Devata had no intentions of evading the question. Probably more than the disciple, the Guru was anxious to give knowledge. But unless the recipient has the required receptivity, it is not only futile, but at times even dangerous to give out the sacred truths of Vedanta to such an unprepared candidate. For the lesser intellects are apt to misunderstand the real import and purpose of the Upanishads declarations. Vedanta, when rightly understood, can make a pure devotee a god upon earth, but it will make the student a devil if he is not properly conditioned to receive the knowledge in its right bearings and significance. A matchbox is blessings in the hands of a grown up, may be a danger in the hands of a child. 22 mantra. देवैरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं किल त्वं च मृत्यो यन्न सुविघ्नेयमात्थ वक्ता चास्य त्वादृगन्यो न लभ्यो नान्यो वरस्तुल्य इतस्य कश्चित् देवैरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं किल त्वं च मृत्यो यन्न सुविघ्नेयमात्थ वक्ता चास्य त्वादृगन्यो न लभ्यः नान्यो वरस्तुल्य एतस्य कश्चित्. नचिकेता छोड़ने वाला नहीं. Nachiketa is telling, Kila devaihi api atra vichikitsitam cha mrityo tvam yat na suvigneyam or sugneyam atha tadrik anyaha अस्य वक्ता च न लभ्यः एतस्य तुल्यः अन्यः कश्चित् वरः न. What an intelligent boy. Kila, when Devaihi, when gods and goddesses were more intelligent than us, is having very subtle analytical capacity, more than man, atra, about this subject matter, vichikitsitam. Devatas were very doubtful. Cha evam मृत्यो हे मृत्यु की अधिपति हे यमराज लॉर्ड डेथ त्वम यू यत एज दो न सुग्नेयम आथ न सुग्नेयम इट्स नॉट इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड देन तादृक अन्यः अस्य वक्ता तादृक अन्यः आप जैसे ऐसे टीचर और कोई मतलब आत्म तत्व की उपदेष्टा अस्य वक्ता च न लभ्य. आप जैसे टीचर कभी नहीं मिलेगा. एतस्य तुल्यः द इक्वल लाइक दिस अन्यः कश्चित् वरः न. I have no other boon to ask. If you want to give me this boon only. Otherwise, no need. You tell no. Only two boons you will get. I'm happy. But if you want to give me the third boon, only this. Devaihi atra vivichikitsitam kila. You told that devatas were very doubtful regarding this knowledge. Tvam chamrityu yatna sugneyamatra. Hey Yamraj, you are also telling that this Atma Tattva is not very easy to understand. But Vakta cha asya tadrik anyana labhya. Who will give us this sort of teachings better than you? So I think na anyo varaha tulyaha etasya kasya. There is no other similar boon like this boon. Nachiketa is asking to Yamaraja, the Lord Death, what should I ask? This is the only prayojaniya vastu. Very effective and important, necessary in life. I have to know this tattva. I don't want anything else rather than that. Except self-knowledge in this world or in the Swarga or other higher lokas, I don't want anything else. In this way, Nachiketa showed his interest. Commentator Shankaracharya ji is telling, there is no parallel question, Jignyasa, like this Atma Tattva, self-knowledge. Because this is the only way to get liberation. Nachiketa still now did not utter a single word about moksha. But commentator Bhagavan Bhagavatpad Shankaracharya ji just filled the gap. He thought, no, 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 this was missing in this mantra. He wrote it that Nachiketa is asking liberation. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has wrote, this is the cause of Nishreyasa Prapti. Nishreyas, the meaning is not only Shreya, good for life, Nitaram Shreya, Param Kalyan, Param, Charam Kalyan. The way to get liberation is self-knowledge. So, there is no other alternative boon. Bhashyakar Shankaracharya ji is telling, Anitya phalatvad anyasya sarvasya eva. When all the result of any sorts of boons are temporary, anitya, then there is no parallel boon like self-knowledge. You will get it, Kathopanishad, Shankar Bhashya 1.1.22 number mantra. Nachiketa is firm, is convicted, Dridha Sankalpa Yukta, and he is not making him away from his own resolution. Yamraj is the teacher. He will not leave. He will offer a lot of things to that Brahmana Balaka. If Lord that's tempting towards in the last mantra were a masterpiece in their suggestiveness for psychoanalysis, the unrelenting words of firm resolve to know and to understand, as expressed by the student here, are equally a great masterpiece. According to the student, there are no boons which can be equal to an answer to this great question of the beyond, since the fruits gained from all the boons are finite and perishable, as they are all mere material gains. Again, if even the gods could not, of their own accord, gods and goddesses means I told you, seek and successfully reach a final understanding of the nature of the Atma, it is but in the fitness of things that we, the men of the world, need a great master to give us this knowledge. And we can have no greater master than Lord Death himself. Harihi Om Tat Sat.